What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another disgusting video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this Tuesday. I'm doing pretty good myself, but I don't like what's transpired over the past 24 hours. Like in Minneapolis, there was a brother by the name of George Floyd that had his life taken unjustly by four low-life pigskin racists. You know, and I say four of them because, well, you see this asshole right here. This bastard placed his knee in the back of Mr. George Floyd's neck until George Floyd begged for his life and said, he can no longer breathe. All right. And this fucker never removed his knee until George Floyd expired, until he died. Okay. Now, what we have here is actually public servants turned public murderers. Okay. This is all reminiscent of Eric Garner. This whole entire situation right here. And it's very, very fucking ugly, as we know. And it looks like to me, there'll be no depending on the system to actually give justice, the rightful, true justice, what this low-life piece of shit right here actually deserves. All right? There's a video in this murder right here. But I'm not going to play it because YouTube, well, they like to punish channels for showing the truth, especially when there's one of these disgusting bastards involved in it. That's their way of caping for lowlifes like this right here. But to get into this particular story right here, okay, it says here 4 Minneapolis police officers fired over George Floyd's death. Okay, now they never identified these officers who were involved. I know this one right here, his face is right here out in public. Okay, so they fired him. But far as I'm concerned, the one that stood guard while this bastard was doing this thing right here, every last one of them need to be brought up on charges because you were sworn, you took the oath to, sworn to protect and serve, but you've done nothing but otherwise like murder. That's what you did. That's what a lot of you do. And as we go along through America, we're going to find, I had a feeling these things was going to continue to happen when they got away with it with Eric Garner. Because when you let an animal go unchecked for the wrong that it does, it keeps doing it. Okay? And that's basically the bottom line. That's what we have here. We have animals. We have low kernel forms of animals, lower than the animals that the Most High created to roam this God's his own green earth. Okay? This is so much lower right here. You see? And they should not be tolerated. Now, if we cannot depend on the judicial system to deliver justice whenever one of your low kernel dogs get off the chain and like they want to just murder somebody black or whatever, well, guess what? Being that this lowlife and other lowlifes like him work for the people as public servants, then it's up for the people to exact their own justice. That's only right and fair. Okay, let's get into this story right here. It says here 4 Minneapolis police officers were fired Tuesday following the death of George Floyd, a black man who died on Monday after an officer kneeled on his neck while he was handcuffed on the ground, shouting that he couldn't breathe. Police Chief Maduria Arradondo announced their terminations during a news conference. He did not publicly identify the officers. This is the right call, Mayor Jacob Frey wrote of the firings in a Facebook post. Bystanders Video that circulated the social media shows an officer who appears to be white pressing his knee into Floyd's neck while Floyd pinned face down on the street. Floyd can be heard repeatedly pleading with officers to get up. All right. Now, at that time, apparently you could see that this man was no threat. He had been subdued, and there was no reason, for this murderer to have his knee in that man's neck like that. Okay, so it was, far as I'm concerned, it was he meant to do it. He meant to kill that man. All right, see, he meant to kill that man. In conclusion, here it says, please, man, I can't breathe. Floyd says, I cannot breathe. And I don't want to fucking hear no hashtags about this shit like they did Eric Gunner either. You know what I mean? It's something's got to be done about this. And he talking about the FBI is probing an investigation of these officers, but this shit is right here on video. There's no excuses not to give capital punishment to that officer who did that shit, and the other ones as an accomplice. They were accomplices. These are a fucking gang. They are fucking low-life murderers. You know what I mean? And I'm saying this. The black public should not continue to accept this kind of fucking policing. And that's just all there is to it. I mean, you got criminals, racist criminals that have infiltrated law enforcement, and they need to be stopped. And that's just that. They need to be stopped. You can't continue to let these low-life motherfuckers run amok and murder who they will. Okay? A couple of months ago, look what happened to this young sister, Breonna Taylor. And then they turned around and locked her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, up. Just because he was doing what any homeowner has the right to do regardless of what color he was. But then after the public raised hell about it, you understand, that's when they dropped the charges. There should never have been any charges in the first place. Okay? But in conclusion here, within minutes, the video shows Floyd closing his eyes and no longer speaking. The officer appears to keep his knee on Floyd's neck, even as onlookers begin shouting that he isn't moving, demanding that the officers help him. The video shows a second officer nearby, looking in the direction of onlookers. Police called for an ambulance, but the man died shortly after arriving at a hospital. The Minneapolis Police Department said in a press conference. All right. Well, it's safe to say that he died right there on that ground. Now, here's a picture up here at the top. This is it right here. Look at that. He knew what the fuck he was doing. Now, I'm going to tell you something. 10 times out of 10. I'm going to say 10 times out of 10. If he didn't have this badge and it was just him, well, he never would have did this in the first place. But if it was a one-on-one situation, this fucker would have been stomped into the ground. He would have been stomped in the ground. But see, this tin piece of metal right here, this little tin right here, is giving them too much power, so much to the fact to where they are actually committing crimes in the name of law. This piece of tin right here. But I'll tell you this. This is tyranny. This is tyranny at its best. And wherever you have tyranny, there should be justice. And if the judicial system cannot deliver the proper justice, then it's up to the people to rise up to do it for themselves. That's just basically all there is to it. This piece of shit low-life motherfucker right here. You see what I mean? I'm telling you. Yes, I do wish death upon him. I do. I wish death on this motherfucker right here. I do. See? Simply because he committed a crime that's worthy of capital punishment. He did. The Most High words say it. The Most High words, it says to put to death Capital punishment, a murderer that runs amok in society. I don't give a damn what his profession is. He has no right to just go around and murder people. Like I'm saying, the Most High word declares capital punishment, and it's supposed to be made public to anybody that will intentionally go and just take somebody else's life. This man had a choice right here. This sub-kernel form of whatever kind of genetic makeup of life you want to call it, that's so much lower than a human being that he just took the life of. It declares in Exodus chapter 21, verse 12 and 14, the things I'm saying, what this so-called officer deserves. Leviticus chapter 24, verses 17 through 21. It okays that this motherfucker right here is worthy of capital punishment. His accomplices, the one officer that stood guard for him to commit murder, when he know fucking well he's there to serve and protect. He took an oath, both of them did, to serve and protect, and they do otherwise. On the contrary, see, these are devils. That's what they are. These are devils. They're here to trick people. They come like they come in peace, but they're there to take your life, mistreat you, treat you bad. Look at this shit right here. See? Now, what the system needs to do to make good on this, being that you already fired, lock them up. Lock them up. I know you're not going to want to do it, but lock them up. It's time for us as a nation of people, and I'm talking to a specific nation of people, to start getting back to doing things the Most High will have us do. And that's just all there is to it. This can't continue. This cannot continue. You got motherfucking deers killing lions in the street just because of a fucking mantle that deer is wearing. That's basically what it all boils down to. Ha! Shit. That's all I got on this one, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this story. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts and views and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And people, please remember to live your life as though we are being watched. They watching day and night. They see all this too. Okay? This is James, and I'm out. Peace.